Okay, and then when we do start broadcast, Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our orientation overview. My name is Kelly Garrity. I am the Associate Head of Enrollment Management here at Richmond. And with me today, who will be presenting on our orientation, is Buck Cook, our Associate Dean of Student Leadership. We're all looking forward to welcoming you to campus and giving you an arrangement of information for your arrival. At the end of our webinar, we will be hosting a question and answer session. So if you do have questions, you should be able to see on the screen where you can type them in. Please do that, and we will address them at the end. And we will also open up for free form questions for you after the session. So we'll be listing our contact details for you to get in contact with us if you'd like to following the webinar. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce Buck, who will start our overview for today. Thanks a million.
All right, thank you, Kelly. Well, welcome everyone. We're so glad that you wanted to take part in our orientation overview webinar. So we're going to cover some basic information about orientation at Richmond. Maybe. Sorry, we're just, okay. We're going to cover some basic information about what is orientation, who should attend orientation, give you a preview of the schedule for our orientation that's coming up in August and early September. Getting ready for orientation, so things you can do to prepare for orientation before you come. Overview some staff that will be on hand to help you with things that you need while you're here at orientation and during the year here on campus. And then we'll have a Q&A session, as Kelly mentioned earlier. So what is orientation? Basically, it's a week-long of activities to welcome you to campus, to help you become acclimated to being a student at Richmond University and welcoming you as part of our community. Adjusting to living in London, we have two campuses in Richmond Hill and in Kensington, so we'll give you a chance to see both of those and learn more about the communities that surround those two campuses. There'll be an academic portion to the orientation schedule, so we'll talk about some sessions and workshops that will be scheduled, academic assessments, advising and registration, and then there's also a social component, so we'll give you some information about life on campus, our Student Affairs Department, different activities and events we have organized for you, and give you a chance to make new friends, meet your neighbors, and get ready for the term to begin. So who should attend orientation? Orientation is for first-time students, so our new students that are coming to the university, students that are transferring to Richmond from another institution, visiting students who are coming from one of our partner institutions here to stay either for a semester or for a year. AIFS study abroad students, they also have their own orientation that's a part of our Kensington campus. Parents and guardians of all of the folks we mentioned above. And also we have a one-day postgraduate student orientation on Friday the 2nd of September at our Kensington campus. In terms of our schedule, we'll talk to you about the different parts of the schedule, the sections you can see here, welcoming and acclimating you to campus, academic sessions, assessment, the important part, advising and registration, campus life, activities and events, and then parent and guardian events as well. So when you come to campus, there are some nuts and bolts that we need to take care of. You need to get an ID card. We're going to have our student workers, our peer mentors, help you log into your online account. So there's an email account, a campus portal account where you'll be able to use for online registration, to do other things, request transcripts related to your academic life here on campus. We'll have tours of both of our campuses in Richmond Hill and in Kensington. And then for different groups as applicable, we have different sessions, those checking into the residence halls for students that will be living on campus with us. Students that are here on a visa, we have a visa compliance seminar. We also have financial aid seminars for folks who are on financial aid and scholarships, and then sessions for students with special educational needs as well. The academic part is a big piece of what we do at orientation, so a lot of what we're going to talk about is getting you ready for life in the classroom and pursuing your studies here at Richmond. So one of the things is you'll learn about our liberal arts model. Hopefully this is something you're familiar with as you've chosen to come to Richmond, but we think it's a definite asset to our campus, both academically and then enriching our students' lives after they leave Richmond. So we'll have a session with the Dean of the College of Education talking about the liberal arts model. You'll meet faculty in your major, so that's a great opportunity opportunity for you to hear about things that they're doing in terms of research, things that are happening on campus related to the field you're studying. We have staff at our library that will walk you through a library orientation. There are a lot of great resources that are a part of things that are offered for you as part of the library here. And so we think it's a great opportunity for you to take advantage of all those things right from the very beginning of your career at Richmond. And then we also have a session to talk about study abroad opportunities, because even though you're just starting your academic career at Richmond, it's never too early to start thinking about how you can enrich your academic experience by going abroad and doing other things that can enrich your educational life. And the next part with academics is assessments. So there's two types of assessments that we will conduct during orientation. There's an academic reading and writing assessment. So all new students and transfers will be required to take those assessments unless you've received an email from admissions explaining that you are exempt and the reasons why you're exempt from that. So if you haven't got one of those emails, you will need to plan to be there for that, and that occurs on the second day of orientation. Also on the second day of orientation is the mathematics assessment, and all the students that are in the majors listed on the screen, mostly our business and some of our science majors, those students are all required to take the mathematics assessment. And so make sure you bring pen and pencil and get your brains back in academic mode for those assessments. And then the results of those assessments will be available to you a couple of days after that when it's time for you to go through advising your registration, which is our next point of information. So when you arrive to campus, you will receive a document called your orientation checklist, and that will have different details about departments you need to meet with, folks you need to see when you get to campus. It might be financial aid, it might be visiting with admissions to complete some of your information in your record, different things. Part of the orientation checklist is going to contain details regarding your advising and registration information. And so during your advising and registration time, you will be able to meet with an advisor who will help you prepare for your schedule and answer your questions. We also have peer mentor staff. These are upper class students, so sophomores, juniors, and seniors who are working on campus, and they'll be working with new students all during the first year through their transitions courses, which you'll learn more about at orientation. But they're also important staff that are on hand during orientation to assist you, and this is one of the main sessions where they'll be helping you navigate the academics and find ways to make your schedule work for you. And so they'll be on hand assisting with the advising and registration schedule. The other part, as we mentioned before, is social information. So we want you to understand that part of what you learn happens outside the classroom. And so we have a wealth of opportunities within campus life for you to be able to put different skills to work. It might be things you've already been involved in, like student government. You might have done that previously before you came to Richmond. So we have a student government that you can be involved in. We have clubs and societies. Some of those are academic in nature, like the Richmond Psychological Association. Some of those are interest-based, like our Green Project, which is our environmental action club on campus. They're very active. So there's multiple ways for you to be involved on campus through clubs and societies. A lot of hands-on volunteer work opportunities and different things that you'll learn about. We also have an initiative called the Richmond Leadership Academy that we're rolling out this fall. And this is basically a series of workshops, seminars, services on campus that are designed to develop you personally. So part of it is personal development, part of it is developing your leadership skills, part of it is developing your career and employability skills. So helping you write your CV, helping you write your cover letters, going to career and alumni panels where you can learn about different options that can benefit you after you graduate Richmond. So things that will prepare you for your next steps. And even things that can prepare you for applying for internships while you're a student here, applying for volunteer work. We want to provide you a service so that you can track your involvement on campus, track your involvement in the community, track the skills you're learning in those different experiences on campus and experiences off campus, and be ready to go out and take the next steps. And so that's something that will begin this fall. It's open to all students, and we're excited to roll that out for you. So there'll be some information at orientation discussing that and more to come in the fall. For those of you who live on campus, there'll be different residence life activities and events for you to attend so that you can meet folks that will be living near you in the residence halls, meet the residence hall staff that will be working with you, and be great resources for you on campus. We also have a Raising and Giving campaign that also will be kicking off this fall. Our student government has picked a charity that was founded by actually an alumna from Richmond. It's called Professors Without Borders, and all of our student government events and a lot of our club and society events and a lot of our campus events will be raising money for Professors Without Borders all during the course of the academic year. So they're going to have a kickoff event happening during orientation to give our first year students a chance to learn more about that. We also have a session about the university internship program because, again, even though you're just starting your experience at Richmond, it's never too early to start thinking about how you can gain important professional experience that can benefit you after you leave campus. So we have a session about that so you can learn more about that as well. We also have a full schedule of activities and events. So during the day, we're going to keep you busy with workshops and sessions. And in the evening, we have different opportunities for you to mix and mingle, ice cream socials, trips to central London, walking tours of the community of Richmond, trip into Richmond Park. We have a drinks reception, movie nights, different things. We also have ticketed events. And so you can click on the link that's on the slide to go to our orientation activity website and purchase tickets to go on the boat party on the Thames. That's the Friday night of orientation. It's a big tradition on campus. It's very popular with our students, and a lot of our upper class students get jealous because the new students get to go and experience the boat party and they aren't able to go with them. And then we also have an outdoor screening of Romeo and Juliet at Battersea Park as a part of Luna Cinema, which is a British tradition every summer. So we want to expose you to some great British traditions right off the bat. And then different tours that you can visit: Shakespeare's Globe Theatre, Chelsea Football Stadium, a walking tour for Jack the Ripper, and then a walking tour of one of the East End neighborhoods that has fantastic street art. So those are all tickets available for purchase on our website, but you also can just sign up for the free events on the website, and that helps us plan for numbers for the ice cream social and different events. In terms of parent and guardian events, we would love to have you come to as many of the sessions and different things as you can. We know that some of you may not be able to stay for the entire week, and that's definitely okay. Orientation begins on a Tuesday, and on Wednesday morning, we have a welcome meeting with university administrators, and then on Thursday evening, we have the new students drink reception, which parents are also invited to. Our university president, Professor John Annette, will be at both of those sessions, along with a number of faculty and other head university administrators that would love to meet you and discuss anything you'd like to talk about. We also will have our peer mentor staff and our residence life staff on hand to answer any of your questions, so you can ask them questions and get the experience and the perspective of an older student who's been here, so they can answer some of your questions you might have about what it's like to be a student at Richmond, or internships, different things they're doing, life on campus, life in London. They'll be happy to talk with you and answer your questions about that. And then most of our orientations sessions, again, we'd love for you to have you come and learn about things that are going on, whether it's the university internship program, learning about the different services that are offered to your students. We want you to understand that you're part of the Richmond family too, and we're very glad to have you, and this is our chance to welcome you to campus as well. So as you get ready to orientation, there are some things for you to think about. Obviously, moving to London is a big deal, even if you're coming from within the UK. It's the capital city. It's a huge city, and so it might be very different from where you come from. If you're moving from abroad, obviously, it will be very different as someone who just moved here a year ago. So we'll have some information about moving to London, different packing tips, and information and tips for arrival. In terms of moving to London, it can be a little overwhelming, but we want you to enjoy your time in the city. It's one of the most exciting world capitals, speaking as someone, again, who moved here a year ago and chose to make my home in London. And so it's very exciting, and I've loved being able to do lots of different things. One of the most important things you need to do straight off the bat is to become familiar with the mass transit options. So you'll need to get a tube map. You'll need to purchase an Oyster card from Transport for London. Those can be used on a variety of TfL transportation lines, the London Underground, the London Overground, the Docklands Light Railway, and you can also use those for in-town train service offered by Southwest, Thameslink, and other providers. For parents and guardians, there's also a way that you can online renew the travel card for your student and make top-up payments. So students, if you want to ask your parents and guardians to say, hey, I might need a little bit more tube money, there's an easy way for them to be able to log on and top your card up online from home. So that's a big thing for you to adjust to as you get to London, because once you become able to use the tube, the more you use it, the more familiar you get with it, and the easier it is. And as someone, again, who's just been here a year, who came from a city that did not have good mass transit, I found it very easy and very usable. So it's a great resource, and it's a great way to get around and see London. In terms of packing tips, on our orientation website, we have the link here for you. At the bottom of the site, there are packing tips from our students. And so we surveyed students and asked them what were things that they didn't want to leave home without, so the must bring items. So there's a list of those. There's also a list of items that students just said, you know, I brought this, I shouldn't have brought this. They even told me not to bring this when I was going through admissions, and I didn't listen, and then I brought this, and I wish I hadn't. So there's information about what to bring, what not to bring. And one of the important things for you to think about is finding a way for you to bring home with you to Richmond. And so it might be photographs, it might be a couple of movies that you really like or different things, but find ways to bring things that are going to keep that feeling of home with you here at university. So those are some important things to start thinking about now as you're choosing what to bring, because obviously space will be limited in your luggage and different things, so you want to make sure you're making good use of your space and your resources, as that will be a limitation for you, but it's worth it.
One thing I'll just jump into is that obviously your parents and siblings and loved ones are going to come visit you, so use their luggage space to bring some of that extra stuff that you can't bring over.
That's a great tip. Yes, exactly. And you can always make a list of things you want them to ship you at a later point. Yes, exactly. Arrival information. So as we mentioned, orientation is a week long. It begins on a Tuesday because the big holiday for August in the UK is that Monday the 29th. So Tuesday the 30th, we'll have check-in from 9 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. We'll have folks here ready to help you arrive to campus. If you're moving on campus, get you moved into your room, get your ID card, help you log into your computer accounts. You'll meet with folks from admissions, financial aid, academic registry. A number of other officers will be on hand to answer any questions you have as you arrive. We do have late check-in on Wednesday, the 31st of August. So if you come in late on Tuesday evening, you can check in from 9 a.m. to 12 noon on Wednesday. Or if you aren't able to arrive until sometime Wednesday morning, we can still check you in and get things moving along. The academic assessments do start on Wednesday morning, very early, so you do want to try to make sure, if you can, to arrive by Tuesday evening so that we can get you into your academic reading and writing assessment and then the math assessment that afternoon. There's also information about how to arrive on campus from the airport on our website. Again, it's on the orientation website, this link there. On the right-hand side of the page, there's a blue button that says Airport to Campus Transport Guide, so we recommend you take a look at that and plan your travel accordingly. But there's a number of ways to get to campus, whether it's taking a cab, taking a train, buses. There's a variety of ways you can get from the airports to our campus. And then lastly, we want to introduce you to some folks in student affairs who are happy to work with you. We are all here, so we have a team of folks ready to work with you. So these are our full-time staff that are pictured here, Allison, Jason, and then my information. The three of us are located on the Richmond Hill campus, although I do visit the Kensington campus, as does Allison, pretty regularly. So no matter where you are, we're a resource for you, able to meet with you to help out. Jason also goes back and forth between campuses and does financial aid workshops and seminars for students on both campuses. Catherine and Oliver are based here at Richmond Hill. Catherine is our student affairs coordinator, and Oliver Brady works with Residence Life. So if you're living on campus, you'll be working with Oliver, and you've probably already been communicating with him. And then Tracy Hall is Oliver's counterpart on the Kensington campus. So she's based at Kensington and works with our students who live at Kensington. Also based at Kensington primarily are our colleagues from AIFS, which is the American Institute for Foreign Study. We have a robust study abroad program with students that come in for a semester or for a year through AIFS, and so Anderson and Nikki work with those students. And then Rachel Taylor is based at Kensington, but also comes to Richmond quite often. She works with student affairs, and she also works with global mobility. And then Julie Enright bounces between campuses as well. She's based at Kensington. She's our head of careers and internships, and so you'll have a chance to meet her during orientation. And then Allison Rubin is our coordinator of academic advising. She's based here at Richmond Hill, but she also bounces back and forth between here and Kensington, and she will be leading all the academic advising sessions during orientation. So all of you will meet Allison, and she will help you get your classes and take care of you academically. We also have a lot of student staff that will be working. Again, I mentioned our peer mentors, our residence life staff, the resident assistants, and the resident directors. So in addition to the full-time staff that we just mentioned, we'll also have student staff that will be here during orientation and throughout the year to be of assistance. So now we've reached the Q&A portion of our question, and so I think Kelly has a couple of questions that have already come in. So if you think of questions you'd like to type in, please type those into the chat box. And we will receive those, continue to receive those during the Q&A and take your questions.
Yeah, so one of the questions that just came in was, about the links in the slideshow presentation. I realize that some of you guys probably can't click on those, but we will be sending out a copy of this recording, and in that email we'll include links to all of the various sites that Buck was pointing out throughout the presentation. So don't worry if you're interested in booking some tickets or would like to see the full schedule, you'll have that information at your fingertips. Oh, relevant, another question that came in is about tickets for the event. So someone would like to know what the average cost of one of our ticketed events are during the orientation week. Buck, if you could.
Sure. Some of the tickets are as low as I think £7. Some of them are 10 to 15 pounds, and then some of the more expensive ones are 25 pounds.
Okay, terrific. Next questions that come in is, who is it again that I'm talking to about housing? That would be Oliver Brady, who we listed information for, and we're happy to send you guys the contact details for all of the student affairs staff again as well, if you've not been in touch with them. Parents' involvement is the next question, or related to the next question. So a parent would like to know what type of activities again that they can come to. So as Buck mentioned in the presentation, parents are welcome to come to all the activities, but of course this is your time to let your students fly and have their first introduction to student life. So we really would love for you all to come to as many activities as possible, but we specifically do have a parents reception, which I think is a great way for you to sort of bond with other parents that are going to be going through the same thing and all of your students going away. So definitely we'll highlight that as one thing that you should all attend. Next question, does it cost anything to attend orientation? No, orientation is free for all new students. Because you're paying to come to college here. So it's one thing that orientation we see is a really magical moment for you, because it is that first introduction that you're getting to your student life. We realize you guys are going to be tired if you're coming off of a long haul flight over to London. You might even be tired if you're coming down from Manchester, depending on what time you get here. So we do ease you into all of the activities very gently, and it really is designed to be a fun period and an educational period for you to meet students that are all like-minded, meet the other students that you're going to be in your classes, and start that bonding experience, which is such a pivotal part of your experience as a university student. There's lots of support throughout the week, and you'll learn a lot about the support that is not just there for you during orientation, but throughout the year, right, Buck, with all the staff that we've got you know, on campus available for you. So either come and drop into the admissions office to see myself and all of my colleagues in admissions and recruitment, or come over to Buck in the library, and you'll be able to get, you know, directed to where you need to go. As it is with anything, if you meet one new face, sometimes you get a bit confused when you're meeting so many different people. Like, who was I supposed to talk to about my housing again, or who was I supposed to talk to about courses? So our job there, you guys, is to really to support you and point you in the right direction throughout the week. So another question that has come in is, what if you're arriving late during orientation? That's completely fine. We will ask the students before you're all coming, if you know, especially if you're coming from a long haul, if for any reason why you wouldn't be coming towards the beginning of the semester. It might be something that's delayed with your visa, and we'll make sure that everything that's necessary for you to, most importantly, get registered for your classes. Obviously, the social element of orientation is really important too, but we really want to make sure all the registration's done and that you've got your assessment exams done and things like that. So if you're arriving late, let's say the Wednesday or even the Thursday morning, we've had students arrive that late, unfortunately, during orientation, which isn't a horrible thing, and we do make concessions for that and make sure that you have all the exams and the course registration sessions that you do need. So don't worry about that if that does happen to you.
And our student staff, our peer mentors, and our resident staff will work hard to get you caught up as much as they can with different things in terms of covering things that may have been missed. One thing that I actually thought about that we should have also mentioned is we do have National Health Services registration, so NHS registration. So if you're not from the UK, you can register with NHS to receive health services and health care while you're here. We do have a registration time for that on the Friday afternoon of orientation, so that will be that will be part of what goes on during the calendar. But then also, again, if you arrive late and you're doing something else while that registration is going on, we'll be working with NHS staff to have a way for you to become registered during the first week of courses. And we'll do some different things for our returning students to get them back into campus life, so you'll be able to take advantage of all of those things as well. So we have a student activities fair that happens at Kensington on the first Thursday of class, and the first Friday of class at Richmond Hill. So there's different ways for you to find out about campus life options and different things. So if you do arrive late, we will work hard to get you all the information you need and as much as we can with what's going on. So we have a question about what clubs and societies can I join? Well, that's a great question. We have 20 clubs and societies that are chartered on our campus right now. We have 2 more that are going through the chartering process. And so again, some of those are academic related. So we have the Business Society, the International Affairs Society, History and International Politics Club. Some of those are more I guess it's still academically focused, like the Model United Nations Club. That's very popular with our international affairs majors, but that's open to any student who wants to be a part of it. So even if you're, a theater and performance major and you're really into Model UN, then that's something you can still pursue. And then we have personal interest kind of things, and so we have a United in Diversity LGBTQ Society. We have the Art Exhibition Society, so it's just what it says. It's a society of students who like to go to art exhibitions, and so they plan trips to go into the city to visit the different galleries, whether it's at the Tate Modern or just anywhere to go see art exhibitions. A lot of the galleries that are around have free exhibits that pop up, and so they're very plugged into those kind of things that are going on. And most of the museums that are in town, you can see the standard collection for free, and so they love to plan different trips for that kind of thing. We have a film club. They're very active. They always plan a semesterly trip to the Harry Potter studios, which we also have tickets on sale for a campus outing to that already on our activities and trips website. So you can check that out. And we do have a variety of other activities that are already scheduled in different trips, whether they're day trips or weekend-long trips to other countries that are available for purchase now. So that might be something students for you to think about budgeting in, or to maybe use that, oh, I'm going away, I want to fill my time. Hey, family, how about purchasing a ticket for me to go to this place? So feel free to do that. But we do have a number of club societies, and if you get to campus and you see our list of clubs that we have and you don't see one that appeals to you, the process to start an organization is very simple. You just come to meet with me. I'll be happy to walk you through the requirements, and it's a fairly standard process. You just find some other folks that want to be a part of the organization. You find a faculty or staff member to serve as your advisor. You fill out some paperwork, and then you're good to go.
Yeah, I think that's another beauty of being, sort of a small institution, is that we really do not only foster your growth educationally, but socially through these activities that you can do through the clubs and societies on campus as well. So we'll send out information about those as well during orientation. Another question that's come in is about nearby hotels and restaurants for family that's coming over to orientation with you. So that's a very good question. We do have information on this on the website, but the nearest hotels to us are the Richmond Gate, the Richmond Inn, and the Richmond on the Hill. So they're right around the corner from campus. They do comparable rates for Richmond students and families, so it's worth mentioning. During peak season, obviously, like most hotels, they'll charge their rates, but it's worth mentioning to them that you're coming to be a student at Richmond if you do have family that's coming. And there's also nearby restaurants as well. Now, those are just the nearby hotels that I've mentioned in the Richmond area. There is a list again on our website, and you can search on the website, just in the search engine, type in hotels and restaurants, and those will both come up for Kensington and for Richmond. And on that regard, you can have visitors with you on campus. If you have someone staying overnight, they do have to be signed in with security and hand their ID, and that has to be approved as well. So, and it can't be something that happens on the day. It has to be kind of pre-booked in with them. So that kind of leads into having guests on campus as well. So I think that was our last question of the webinar. Thank you all so much for joining in. I know it's quite difficult with the different time zones and people logging in from all corners of the globe, so we do appreciate it. As I said, we will be sending out this recording. So if you do have any other questions, our information is there. If we've not touched on anything that you have, or if you or your family would like to speak with Buck or myself further, please definitely do get in touch with us and we'll arrange either a phone call with you or a Skype call with you. But most importantly, we're really looking forward to welcoming you all in a few weeks' time.
Definitely. We have a whole group of folks that have been working since January to plan orientation. So we are ready for you to arrive and for you to get to go through everything and start this new adventure in your life. So thank you for being a part of our webinar today, and we look forward to seeing you in a few weeks.
Thank you all, and we hope to see you soon. Take care.